Torches, you don't throw it out.
Solid. Oh my, what?
I stick and move through the madness, bob and weave the negative, blocking out the haters. My meditation is medicine.
Boxing fans and gamers, it's your boy FightNightsFinest, the Sophie commentator, back with another Fight Night Champion online match. This one going up against Davedarippredone with the tournament style fighters. This is not an actual tournament fight, but this is how I expect every fight to be. Closely contested. You guys in this match are gonna see outside fighting, inside fighting, counter punching styles, brawls, inside fights. It's going to be amazing. You guys are definitely going to want to stick through the entirety of this fight. You'll be seeing this from Davedarippredone perspective. I'm unable to record videos at this time, which is why you guys haven't been seeing much videos from me, but a great Fight Night Champion channel to watch in the time of my absence is Davedarippredone. YouTube.com/Davedarippredone. Check the guy's channel out. Makes amazing montages, makes great promo videos, does awesome commentaries when it comes down to watching any of his fights. I'm always entertained and always glad to sit through it. Another simulation fighter and a guy who gives out tutorials. If you're struggling with Fight Night Champion or don't understand a few things or just want to see how to brawl your behind off, subscribe to that man's channel. But anyway, now you guys all know the format and the rules to each of these to all these tournament fights. You guys know that you have to fight with a textbook block, a reach cap of 79 inches, a max height of 6 feet. But me and Davedarippredone went 5'8", 72-inch reach. We follow all the format of the punch test with 14 punches across the board. I believe it's 16 or 18 for combination, 16 for blocks, 20 for head movement, 18 for chin and heart. And it was very, very important in this match that we both picked our shots well. And the great thing about this format, and if you can get the same reach as your opponent, is that it will truly test to see which person is better in terms of picking their shots, controlling their stamina, using the inside or the outside, or boxing better. Whoever has the better timing and the better ability to observe, analyze, and adjust will win the match. And that's the great thing about this format. I hope all you guys who do participate in the tournament practice your tails off so that you can get used to it. This is our second fight. Before we had a whole different reach and height. He went 5'11", 76-inch reach, which is the normal thing that he fights at. I usually fight at 5'10", 76-inch reach. So having a 72-inch reach for a while, I've been using Weekly Ride a lot on middleweight head-to-head. So I kind of was used to the 72-inch reach, but it took me a while to kind of find my range like it does in any fight. And I still have to go out there and perform my usual game plan. And you see him executing a very well thought out game plan in the first round. He's able to take the first round and only lose 3% of his entire stamina. This is a 12-round fight, so picking your shots, controlling your stamina is extremely important at this stage in the fight. And not going in there like a mad hammer and going for a knockout probably want to be the best thing to do. Like I said, you're gonna want to sit through the entirety of this fight because it gives you a boxing lesson. Like, it literally gives you a boxing lesson on what this game should look like. If anytime I think about Fight Night Champion, I think about having a match like this where you're seeing different styles. And to be honest, I consider both of us masters at the game. So being able to execute all the different types of styles is very, very important. Like right here, you see an exchange on the inside, me coming forward, him going backwards, pot shotting a little bit after, going in there and exchanging with me. So you see him performing excellent, or he has a very high boxing IQ at this point, being able to determine where he should land his shots, where he should place his shots, when to go back on defense, when to go back on offense, when's the right time to fire back a shot. You're seeing all those different aspects here, and you got to be excited when you see something like this. Like I said, you guys are really going to want to stick through the duration of it. I know a 28 or 20-minute video is a long thing to watch, but just sit back and unwind. Your boy going to take care of you on the commentary. I'm telling you, this is an excellent match, and it's still early, so you got a lot more to see. Anyway, like I said, this tournament, I'm really excited for it, guys. Like, I'm extremely excited to being able to go in there and box with you guys and see what you guys, how the different types of ways that you like to throw your punches, and the different type of styles that you fight in order to counter another person's style. This tournament ought to be awesome. And once again, if you haven't signed up, all you have to do is in the comment section of the video with the tournament registration on it, or where I say leave a comment, leave your comment with your PSN name, and you're automatically involved in the tournament. Just make sure that you're there for the set date at the time I'm recording this, before I do the other video, so the set date is in that video. It might actually be before this one. Whenever it comes, just make sure you leave that comment with your PSN name so you can be registered for the fight. After that second round, we both have it one apiece. I thought I came back on a nice adjustment myself in this round, being able to apply pressure on the inside a little bit and being able to come back and take a round after losing the first one. It was pretty nice. You know how I like to do things, guys. I like to come in the first round, observe my opponent. Depending on the style that I'm fighting, you can observe your opponent in several ways, whether it's trying to be a counter puncher one round, being a defensive style, even though you might take some punches or you might take a couple of hits. It'll allow you to see what kind of combinations your opponent gives. Or some guys waste their entire arsenal in the first few rounds of the fight. So if you're fighting a defensive style and they're hitting you, sometimes it might build confidence on their end, but it might do damage to your health. So that's a plus or minus whenever you kind of go in there fighting that kind of style in the first round. Or you can be a tank or a bruiser on the inside, and if they're on the outside, they got to do a lot more work. You can see how good their footwork is. You can test them based on how well they are able to take your shots, or if the defense is solid, if they know how to work angles right, if they're a true counter puncher, if they're a spammer, do they fold under pressure, what it is that they don't like. You can all see here, and we see another scrap going on close to the ropes. Both of us firing away and banging away with combinations, but Davedarippredone doing an excellent job of counter punching, looking like a young James Toney, up there slipping and weaving punches and following that up with overhands and hooks as he lands another solid right hook, and then another counter right hook upstairs, forcing me to back off and think about what it is that I'm doing. I had to rethink my whole life just right there. Like, dang, those counter punches hurt. But being in this kind of fight, it's not likely that you'll get any kind of stuns, or there's no one punch knockouts or flash knockdown ability. So you'll have to get like a minor stun or a critical stun and then just fire off with tons of combinations, even look for a push power punch in order to catch a knockdown. So there's a lot of different things that you can experience in this kind of fight with this kind of template. He definitely took this round 4 excellently with his ability to counter punch and his ability to adapt well to pressure. He didn't fold under it, and he still got back a nice stamina return of 9% and has 90% of his stamina left. So CompuBox numbers after the first but after the first 3 rounds, guys, he's up 2 rounds to 1. Brilliant job of counter punching, brilliant job of being able to work his angles and stay on the outside. Has definitely neutralized my inside game quite a bit. And if I want to come back, it's definitely not going to be on the inside, or at least till later. One thing I do want you guys to notice, though, that I'm doing is I'm going downstairs to the body. If I'm losing a round, I am investing in body work. I cannot stress that enough to you guys, to invest in the body. In the words of Relapse, keep working the body, because whenever you work the body, you're bound to be able to pull a sweaty comeback into the later rounds, or be able to catch a knockdown, or there's just a greater chance of you being able to win rounds. Your opponent tires faster if you are smart with the body shots that you're picking. And right now, I'm fighting a whole different kind of fight. You're not seeing me come in like the tank anymore. I'm not coming on to the inside. I'm not bobbing and weaving onto the inside and looking to throw tons of combinations. I'm sticking on the outside. I'm trying to box a little, pick a shot here, pick a shot there, work my defense a little bit. Have that confidence in yourself, guys. Believe in yourself. Don't pull a Curtis Stevens where you have pretty good defense going on, and then you just quit afterwards. See me right there stepping out of range, and then he goes to throw about 3 or 2 punches, and I go ahead and I skirt over to my left and just able to dodge a couple of the punches that he throws out. Right there, he should have had that counter shot, but he decided not to throw back. And now you're seeing a whole different side of Davedarippredone. Before it was me trying to apply the pressure, he's able to get a counter shot off, and now he starts applying some pressure of his own. So there goes that exchange real quick where I talked about the different styles that you see in this fight. So far you already seen a boxing and counter punching style. You've seen an inside style, an outside style, and now you're seeing a boxing style. And it's really nice when it's like a seesaw, guys, where it's like 1 minute somebody's applying pressure and then it tips back over to the other person. They're using the outside now, and there's just that equivalent exchange going on between both fighters. Shows the maturity of both fighters to be able to know how to work all aspects of the fight game. Like I said, whether it's inside, outside, counter punching, boxing, whatever style it is that you may want to do, being able to adjust or switch over to that style instantaneously is pretty much important, especially in this kind of tournament. So right there, we're able to catch him with a clean, basic 1-2 and able to drop him down on the canvas after the jab, following that with the left hook, and get cold clock as we catch our first knockdown of the fight. And like I said, with this template, it's kind of rare to go ahead and get a knockdown. Right there, I was very, very fortunate to go ahead and get a critical stun, which gave me the chance to catch up in this fight, because I felt like I was losing 4 rounds, not 4 rounds, 3 rounds to 1, and having the 10-8 round in my pocket allows me to catch him and possibly make one more mistake and know that I can go ahead and win this fight. It's definitely going to be a desperate attempt for me to try to catch up at this point, because he's countering and he's moving excellently. Like, it's really hard just to find a good place to attack. You see me getting tagged here with a bunch of shots. When I plant my feet is usually when I'm looking for offense. I like to stay stationary, block a couple of shots, look to see not so much catch a counter punch in the sense of get the flash animation counter punch, but just to see if he throws a jab, maybe I could go ahead and exchange with him evenly. He gets another counter left uppercut to the head, and you gotta appreciate the head movement at this point. If this game did not penalize you so much for head movement, he'll be doing so much better stamina wise at this point in the fight as well. But I lost my train of thought. Anyway, coming down to 30 seconds, less than 30 seconds left in the 5th round. I'm able to use some head movement on my own. FightNightsFinest using head movement. We're able to imitate a little Muhammad Ali's right there, and able to lay back and then counter with the jab upstairs to the head. So after having a knockdown scored in that round, it's smart to just jab. He got a 13% stamina recovery that round. That's unheard of sometimes, especially in a round where you're busy. But he wasn't busy in the sense of throwing tons of combinations. He was still very, very smart where he picked his shots, where he decided to jab, where he didn't decide to jab. And he already know he lost the round, so he didn't go out there like a mad hammer just swinging punches like crazy. He didn't come out there looking like a hurricane. He took his time, and you know, he looked for what he could land, what he couldn't land, just to say, okay, you won this round, but you know, I still got to put forth some type of offense. So right now you see him going after. He gets that signature counter downstairs to the body. Davedarippredone is absolutely famous for that, like doing some strange head movement, going downstairs to the body and catching a counter. And that counter always zaps your stamina and forces you to kind of back up, because if you don't, you're gonna get hit with another 3 or 4 punches after that, and then it's gonna be night. But anyway, you saw another great scrap going on right there, and then after that you see Davedarippredone backing me down, applying the good pressure, fighting the good fight. And now there's that equivalent exchange, that seesaw that I talked about earlier. He's working the inside instead of me this time, and I'm going with the counter puncher, outside fighter kind of style here. I feel as a counter puncher, your feet should definitely be planted more. You should definitely focus on your blocking more, landing a few jabs every now and again, looking for a nice combination, but possibly just look for some nice shots that you can land a counter off of. When you're on the outside, I mean, there are some flat-footed older outside fighters in history where you just look at it. Even Muhammad Ali, a guy early on in his career who was known for just dancing around the ring, against people like George Foreman and Joe Frazier. You see him settle down a little bit more, not so much on his toes, just kind of working flat-footed, using his jab, being a little more experienced. You know, the crazy thing about outside fighting that people don't really recognize is he gets a nice counter straight to the head, counters my counter punch with a counter punch, using the jab upstairs to the head, and that was a great round as well. Tough to score as well. Both of us had our moments in there. 74% stamina left on his end going into round 7. Back to my point about outside fighters throughout history. You see them pretty much up on their toes. And the things that people don't realize about outside fighters, especially on this game, is that outside fighting isn't meant for you to just run track meets around the ring. No, it was never meant for that. It was meant for you to be on the outside of your opponent's range, where you're still in range to land your own shots, and you can speed up onto the outside a little faster and get out of range whenever he gets towards your range. So it was just an excellent technique in order to go ahead and defend yourself. And the main reason why people fought on the outside is because they either had a height advantage, a reach advantage, or they didn't have the chin to go ahead, the chin to go ahead and exchange with a guy who has more power to him, or he just necessarily couldn't have taken a shot. Speaking of taking a shot, he takes that counter left uppercut that I hit him with like a champ. No chin checks going on for us today. Another solid round going into a minute and 30 seconds, less than a minute 30 seconds into round number 7. There he goes again with that counter signature right hook downstairs to the body, and I definitely felt the effect of that when you see me stop throwing punches almost all together immediately. And downstairs again he goes with the counter power straight to the body. And I continue to come forward, because one thing I noticed, if I'm losing a round, I'm able to get a counter right there, counter back with another counter shot of my own. And now, you know, that's what pressure does. Sometimes it allows you to create some opportunities, because when you go on the outside, sometimes you feel the need, just the presence of the body being there, you feel the need to go ahead and throw back a ton of punches in order to keep them off of you. But look at him getting the counter right uppercut, and we're able to fire off a 1-2, clinch, and get back in the good graces of our own health. Another counter punch by us upstairs to the head, this time with the right uppercut, and that's going to be an end to another exciting round in round number 7. Definitely a round and felt like he just did a lot of damage, and a lot of counter shots landed for him in this fight. And at the end of round number 7, going into round number 8, the scorecard is as follows: 3 rounds in favor of me. Not 3 rounds in favor of me. 3 rounds on my side. The round favor total on his side with 4 rounds to 3. But I do have the knockdown with the 10-8 round, which allows this fight to be tied up at 66 apiece. And going into these later rounds, it's definitely going to be crucial to see who picks their shots better, who is able to out-time the next man. And one of the biggest things that have come on in the middle rounds of this fight has been counter-punching. But we land a power straight up top to the head, and that's one of the things you can do if you're getting hit with a lot of counter shots. You can go ahead and power shot, because a power shot is equal to a counter shot in this game. So a power straight upstairs, a power right uppercut downstairs that landed a little earlier, and now here we are, both of us brawling in the center of the ring, both of us both trying to use range, but we end up inside fighting onto each other. And then I watch Davedarippredone start pot shotting and picking the shots from the outside. Here I come on the inside, bobbing and weaving my way in. The seesaw tips back over onto his scale of the favor, because, like I say, whoever gets the outside in this match pretty much has the advantage. And you see him doing a pretty good job here. Now, the one thing I do want you to take notice of is how his stamina has dropped significantly, and as his punch output has increased. Now, he's doing a lot of head movement and landing a lot of nice counter shots. But you see, I'm still kind of remaining composed with the type of punches that I'm throwing. My work rate kind of remains the same throughout the entirety of the fight. Some moments I turn up the combinations, but for the most part I still use the jab as my lead. You see him leading off with a lot of hooks now, a lot of counter shots, trying to use head movement. He's really getting into the fight, while I feel at this point I have a calm head, and I'm still going about the fight how I would any other time, and have to trust in the fact that my body work that I was doing early on when I was losing most of those rounds pays off for me now. It's extremely tough, guys, to win fights when your stamina is low. When your stamina is low, even though you might be able to out counter or out power shot your opponent, your punches aren't as effective and don't carry as much accuracy, and neither does it carry as much strength behind them. So it's a lot harder in order to go ahead and win rounds, whether you're outpointing them on the scorecards or not. And I know a lot of you guys have left that in the comment section saying, oh, I'm outpointing this guy, I'm landing more shots than he is. But you have to take in the fact that his stamina could possibly be higher than yours, which is why some of you guys could possibly be losing this round. Into the ninth round though, you're seeing a lot different work rate from me. Definitely looking to box and pick shots now. Rely on my defense, which has worked well for me throughout the entirety of the fight. When we both fight, a defensive style has been extremely tough for either one of us to win rounds going forward. But right now, I'm just trying to be a technician. I'm trying to pick shots exclusively, land power shots downstairs to the body to say that I landed some power shots, and keep working the body, because you hear a lot of huffing and puffing going on his side, while on my side I'm pretty much still the same as how I was from the beginning of the fight. I think I did a better job of stamina management as I landed a counter straight up top, and that's definitely going to give me another point towards winning this round. A minute left to go into the ninth round. You're seeing me doing basically what I've been doing for the entirety of the round, focusing on defense, ducking in and out of range, trying to land as many shots as I can, leading off with jabs and high percentage shots that I think might land. Try to throw a power straight up top there, but we are unable to connect with that. A little few lag spikes going here and there, but once again he gets the outside, and instead of me going in and applying tons of pressure, I'm still kind of picking my shots. 1-2, 1-2. Not 1-2 in terms of jab straight, but 1-2 in terms of like a jab, uppercut, jab, hook, double jab, single jab. There goes that double jab again, single jab, and just moving high up the scale from a single punch to a two-punch combination back down to a single punch, and just picking my work rate pretty well. He does in this round get a 10% stamina recovery going into the 10th round. At this point, I have it 5-4 in favor of Davedarippredone, but because of that knockdown that I caused, I see this fight pretty much even. And if I'm able to win this fight, not this fight, but if I'm able to win this round, that will put me ahead by 1 point in this fight. So we're looking at it here, 10 rounds into the fight. In any ordinary fight, I pretty much feel that I would need a knockdown in order to win. But because we do have the 11th and the 12th round to go, I'm still going about the fight how I would if it was the 7th or the 8th round, and still taking my time and picking my shots. Like I say, you can always increase your work rate towards the end of the fight, because you can't take the stamina with you when you leave the fight. So go ahead and leave it all out there. But right now, it's very important I continue to pick my shots. That's one of my favorite combinations that you see me land once again, and which have been effective for me pretty much all fight, was the straight right hand lead followed by the left hook upstairs. I felt like it did a lot of damage to it. Gave me a nice little few scoring shots, a nice effective clean shots that would land. And coming down to about a minute left in this round, you still see me doing the same thing that I did in round number 9, which is continue to pick my shots, look for high percentage shots, and then focus on defense in order to try to win the round. Right there, I was kind of upset that I didn't get that counter left uppercut that I was looking for when I was able to step one of those punches. But that textbook block is OP, y'all. Anyway, 30 seconds left. Look at that beautiful head movement by Davedarippredone, able to slip 2 punches. And once again, you see him able to dodge another punch. And there we go back downstairs to the body. When the head's moving, you go downstairs to the body, because that body is not moving. The feet's planted. And that's your opportunity to go ahead and land shots. He was able to land yet another counter shot. But with that low of stamina, you see the difference in how we walk, the difference in the sound when we punch. If you hear that carefully underneath my voice, you can hear the ha ha on each side of when he throws versus when I throw. And now it's coming down to the wire, 95-94, 5-5. I'm up by 1 point due to the knockdown, and it's about that time where you got to go ahead and turn things up. These are championship rounds. This is where champions are made of. This is where sim fighters are made of. You see it going down at this point here. Davedarippredone now starting to apply pressure. You see me sticking back on the outside, trying to pot shot, trying to use my range in order to land my jabs and 1-2s, starting off to the body before I come upstairs to the head. Just high and low combinations, the normal things that you do that will help confuse that block. Right there, he sidestepped me and missed with a counter right hook to the body. I was able to block that. Very fortunate for me, because I don't want to take any type of body work from him at this point in the fight. There's still a very good chance that he can go ahead and catch a knockdown. There's still a lot of stuff that can happen, 11 rounds into a fight. But now you see us really starting to land effective shots. You see us landing power shots. And when I say power shots, I don't mean with the R2 modifier button. Oh no, sir. We are landing power shots such as hooks, uppercuts, and those, my friend, will help you win rounds, especially if you're landing them upstairs to the head. For some reason, it just seems to land or account for more points than jabs and straights do. So definitely look if you're struggling to land hooks and uppercuts upstairs. We are able to land a power straight to the head, but he takes another shot like a champion, and it's able to continue moving on. But right there, I wanted you guys to see the discipline that I had, where I didn't throw anything back. I baited him a little bit, relaxed, worked on my defense, and let that set up my offense for now, where now I'm able to go ahead and land some shots. You see that straight right hand lead versus with the left uppercut coming into play once again. Here towards the end of the 11th round, 10 seconds to go, you see me start turning up combinations because, like I said, you can't take the stamina with you when you leave the ring. And taking a page out of Sugar Ray Leonard's book, go ahead and throw a nice little shoe shot and flurry to end the round off, and there's a good chance that you could probably steal something on the judge's scorecard. 12 rounds into the fight. It's the last round of the fight. In my opinion, it's my fight to lose, but I'm not sure if I'm winning. I'm not sure if he took that round possibly. So here we come onto the inside, doing what a champion should. Let's go ahead and try to apply some pressure here. See me leading off with that jab, coming in with some nice combinations. Still doing everything fundamentally sound. I don't feel I need a knockdown at this point to win. All I need is the round, and I should be good money for the rest of the fight. You see me going with hooks and uppercuts because that's usually what lands, or that's what has been effective so far in this fight. One punch combination that I would like to have landed more was my overhand left hook followed by the right uppercut. You see us here getting really low, start turning up the damage, and then we let them rest. You let them rest. You never let them rest, because if you let them rest, then they'll give them a chance to go ahead and sustain themselves for the rest of the round. You see us here continue to apply pressure. He lands a left uppercut to the head, tries to follow that up with a straight right hand, but here comes the combinations. You see us throwing more than one shot at a time. Now he gets another counter shot upstairs. And when he goes upstairs, now we're just looking for exchanges here. I feel I have the higher stamina, so my punches are doing more damage. Gets another counter shot upstairs. Once again, a minute left to go, and a really heated 12th round. You see both men wanted it as bad as the other. Both of us throwing combination. He gets a counter left uppercut to the head. I try to follow that back with a counter right uppercut of my own. Unfortunately, it was not a counter right uppercut. It was just a perfect shot. Not a chin checking shot, but it was definitely a pinpoint right uppercut. And now here comes the pressure. We bob in and weave. He jabs. He jabs again. We come back with a jab combination of our own, but he counters with a signature counter right hook downstairs to the body. But his punches aren't effective. We're walking through him. This looks like Gaddy Gallucton versus Curtis Stevens all over again. And here we come. 3, 2, 1. And that is the end of the fight. I hope you guys enjoy. You'll see who wins this fight. Sweaty, will it be a sweaty comeback for me, or did the dominating performance by Davedarippredone in the early game allow him to win this fight? No, sir. We are able to take it by 1 point. Thank you guys for watching. Remember, check out Davedarippredone on YouTube.com. Thank you guys for watching. This is your boy FightNightsFinest, the Sofa Commentator, and I'm off this. Peace.
Listen, he was the better fighter. He was the busier fighter. He's the...
I told you, brother, I'm the chronicle of our struggles, the voice of the families like Moses, only keeping it real.